Hello, army of cunts. Welcome to the Hot Mess Comedy Hour. This is Emily.
And this is Andrea. And boy, oh boy, it's you and me, kitten. We're alone. We're talking about life. We're chopping it up. It's nice to have a solo app with you.
It really is, especially because I'm in Florida right now at my grandma's house. And I don't know. It's not that I'm embarrassed, but I don't know that I would like a guest to see the amount of shells that are in this room and think it's my room.
Yeah, it's like your childhood bedroom where it's like, don't ignore the Backstreet Boys poster. I swear to God, I'm a 30-year-old woman.
Ignore the $30,000 worth of NSYNC memorabilia around the room.
Yeah, I mean, it is a Flow Rida moment in the background of your Zoom video. We got shell paintings. We got, wicker chairs.
We have a dream catcher over here hanging on the lampshade.
Dude, always a dream catcher. There's always got to be a dream catcher or some sort of cultural appropriation.
I'll tell you something. I have not had one nightmare since being here. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything, but just take from that what you will.
I will. I mean, speaking of nightmares, I had a nightmare the other day that I was pregnant, but couldn't have the baby. Like,
what do you mean?
Perma pregnant somehow. Like, I can't explain it. So
was it like you were 9 months pregnant and you were going to be like that forever? Or was it like you were just in the first trimester? Like, what was your state of being?
I was like,
was it like you would get more and more pregnant for your entire life until like you can't sit on an airplane?
I didn't even think about that. Is so frightening. I was medium level pregnant. Like, it was like there was a bump, but like I could
probably looked cute with a bump.
Sure.
You got a bump in the front, bump in the back.
I'm a fucking figure eight,
Yes.
I was obviously wearing a crop top while pregnant, but like
I like that look.
I do too. I mean, you and I went to a beach once in Los Angeles where there was a woman doing a pregnancy photo shoot with a crop top and like a giant princess skirt, and it
looked like Cinderella's dress if you cut out the middle.
It was, and the husband was wearing a white linen suit, and it was like, this is the most LA thing to ever happen. She had a fully beat face, blowout.
Oh yeah. And she wasn't the only one getting her picture taken professionally that day.
No.
There was another girl hoisted up on a rock like the Little Mermaid. I mean, if you're going to be on a rock, I guess that's the pose, right?
Sure.
But I mean, I must have counted like 5 women on that beach with professional photographers present.
Yes. And then there's you and I fucking high
off
shit,
our asses,
rolling around like in the sand, getting in the business with the seagulls. We were definitely East Coast representatives in that moment.
Totally. And the weed out there is no fucking joke.
It is not.
Like those edibles were no joke. I can't believe I drove up there to Malibu. Are you kidding me? There's cliffs everywhere.
I know. And I was like, it's fine.
I mean, it was fine for the record, but like until maybe the last 10 minutes of the trip when it started hitting.
Yeah, when the India Arie was blasting in the fucking stereo.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
But I think that I was having dreams about being pregnant because
you're pregnant.
Oh my God. Well, I had a pregnancy scare earlier this year.
Oh, so did I. Wait, did you talk about your pregnancy scare?
No, it wasn't like I was like a few weeks late. So, and I wasn't like raw dogging all over town. I was playing the whole just the tip, sort of like using the dick as like around the edge kind of game. You know what I mean? Chopping it up.
Legitimately do not know what you mean. I legitimately have no idea what you're talking about.
I wasn't like using my own. It wasn't like using someone else's. Okay. You know when you're like dry, wet humping with someone.
No clothes.
You're both naked, no clothes. Fluids are being exchanged. And like
it's like you're knocking on the door. It's
yes,
like you're just outside the door. Maybe like your ear is pressed up against the door to hear what's going on.
Yes.
But nobody has entered the building yet.
No, exactly. So I was doing that with a particular guy. And like there's not a chance in hell. There's not a chance in hell that I'm getting pregnant from that.
I don't think that's a thing.
It's not a thing, but like, you know, you're 2 weeks late and you're like, I don't know, maybe he has like super pre-cum and one snuck in there. I wasn't a watchdog on, you know, the level of pre-ejac. You just don't, you know. So I was getting real, and I don't normally freak out about pregnancy stuff. I mean, clearly I've had 2 abortions.
You probably should freak out a little more about it.
I'm pretty lackadaisical, to be honest. But there was just something about this. And then the 2 weeks late in the pandemic, it was like,
that's late.
That's super fucking late.
Like so I had a pregnancy scare and I was, actually, no, I was not that late, but I have a tracker and my tracker is pretty accurate. Like, because I'm very good about saying when it starts and stops every month.
That moon cycle, girl.
Yeah. So it's usually very accurate. So it had like a 5-day window and I'm in the 5-day window and it's not, I don't have it. So every day, and this is like, it's almost worse than having your period, is constantly thinking that you're getting your period.
Wanting it, shoving your hands down your pants, being like, is this it?
Constantly. And like you're like, no, that's just discharge and now I need to wash my hands. Okay.
The minute you get a deposit and you're like, here we go, and then you're like, fuck, I peed my pants a little bit.
I also keep pregnancy tests in my house, which I actually think is a very good move. I think as we call it, the vagine drawer.
Yes.
Okay. The vagine drawer is not complete without 1 or 2 pregnancy tests, just so that you're not, you know, anxious and then running out to Dwayne Reed every time you need a pregnancy test. So I had 1 left over, and it was also the type of thing where I was like, I don't want to waste a test because I'm not pregnant. I'm not. But it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. So eventually I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it. It's going to be negative, but I'm just, you know, I'm going to do it. So I did it. Obviously it was negative. And then I legit got so angry in the moment that I wasted the pregnancy test.
You're such a fucking Jew.
I'm like, actually, because I had been saving this test for like a year and a half.
For a special occasion. You try to like cut the test in half. You're like, I'll keep half of the strip.
I'm Googling like, can these tests be reused? There's like droplets of urine on it.
On the top. And then
that's just the tip situation that I can get with.
Exactly.
But I said to Slandy, I was like, you owe me. Emily. I won't turn that down. Sure. But I said to Slamdy, I was like, you owe me more pregnancy tests.
Yes. By the way, join the Patreon so that we can pay for all these pregnancy tests we're getting. Even when you're in a relationship, you're not safe. No, God, no. And you're not buying the cheap one. You know, there's the generic, but you're like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. No. I need the brand name. Not for this question. No. Nope.
Rapid response pregnancy tests. That's what I need.
I need the top shelf HIV test. I need the top shelf pregnancy test. We're not fucking around. We're going to the CVS Elites and we're getting our answers.
Well, that's one level that I'm not at currently. I don't have any HIV tests around, but if I need one, I'll let you know because I know you have them. So I got
back stocked. I ordered from sorry, go ahead.
The black market. No, I'm just wondering. Okay, so you take the test.
I take the test and I get my period as soon as I take it. Like I literally take it, and while I'm checking it, I'm like, you motherfuckers.
There's like blood on the test.
Yes, it's so. You know what? And I think I wonder if there's more people, dude. When I was picking up a prescription the other day at Rite Aid, I heard the lady behind the counter go, God, this Rite Aid moves Plan B like nowhere else. And I was like, oh. And
well, you should keep more in stock. Like I've ranted about this before, but why are there always only 2 Plan Bs?
Don't get stingy with the B, baby. We're moving it. It's an emergency. If anything needs to be in stock, it's that. So get your fucking Plan B supply and demand correct, Rite Aid. But I bet you there's been so many pregnancy tests and or pregnancies and or like, you know, COVID has made everyone paranoid and also incredibly horny. Like 'tis the season for peeing
I don't
on a
know.
stick.
It's a pretty good question because I think people are having less casual sex.
Sure.
But
well, I don't know. I actually don't even know about that.
You would think they have to be.
You would think so, but I think that like death and grief and stuff has very strange, like, you know, think about last summer. Think about last summer when I was out being a fucking hoe. I was not having less sex.
Right.
You know?
But that was before there was like a second wave.
Sure. But that's
I don't know, but you're probably right. People don't fucking care. You shouldn't, but but if you came down to Florida, you would be shocked. I mean, probably not shocked, but like people are just, they don't care.
They don't mind. Nobody minds.
They really don't mind. I went to the beach today and I found a spot that was like, you know, far enough away from all these people. But of course, as soon as I sit down, everybody else moves closer to me. It's like they can sense
volleyball games and spitting in each other's mouth. And
they're playing Kadima and like hitting the ball directly in my face. That ball has COVID, sir.
They're doing fucking, you know, tampons filled with vodka in their pussies and assholes because we can't, those people didn't care already in like the scary times. Do you know what I mean? And now that we have a vaccine, people are just letting it rip.
Yeah.
Even if they're not vaccinated, we're wild animals.
You're right. Like, even if people are not vaccinated, they still think that everybody else is vaccinated now. So now they can do whatever they want. Like they will justify this behavior however they need to.
No one's taking care of the other. Yeah, we're all animals. So that being said, the hot girl summer is approaching now, and Mama got her first Moderna. And you know, I was taking a dating break for multiple reasons. Number one, I got real wild with the sketchy characters this summer. And I don't mean sketchy in terms of like, you know,
drug dealers.
I mean, well, always drug dealers, but
bad example.
You're like,
pimps.
And I'm like, well, yeah, obviously. I don't mean sketchy as in like they're going to physically harm me or, you know, they're giving me STIs. I mean sketchy in terms of like emotionally disturbed and, you know, narcissistic, whatever. I was swimming in a pool of sharks, which was my fear when me and Dustin broke up. I was like, fuck, man, I got to date men again. Like it's a nightmare out there. Yeah. And I do not have great esteem in this area or good boundaries or control. It's like an addiction that I deal with.
It's also like when you're in a relationship, I mean, aside from everything else good that comes from it, it's nice to have a break.
Like it's
really, really nice just to not have to go out there and like dodge
dicks and fucking emotional labor all day.
I've been dodging dick for I was dodging dick for 28 years. Like
I know
fucking done.
I did my time, man. I did my time. And then I got thrown into the wild. And I had my concerns about how I was going to deal with it. And I have my concerns about the men, everything. And everything was affirmed. I also just like, I had gotten the bipolar diagnosis within that, at the end of that time. And I'm like, yo, this is not like, this has got to be the priority. Like you got to, because the addictive behaviors towards sex feed into the whole thing. You know, it's poor behavior, you know, it's being up all night. It's, you know, and it's also like damaging my self-esteem and which is something that like actively takes work. So it is like I guess for lack of a better word, kind of a triggering any norm. Also, any people who are not bipolar or not addictive personalities, dating just sucks. Like that's just
Yeah,
on
it
its own,
sucks
it
for
sucks.
anyone. It sucks for anyone. But that makes a lot of sense to me because when you're in that heightened state, like a
Yeah,
manic state, if you get a text message that's, rude or
sure.
unsettling,
Or
that you
or
could go off the deep end so much easier than normal.
yes, it's also hypersexuality is one of the like symptoms of being hypermanic, like having
Oh.
rapid sexual thoughts and like being um attracted to risk taking behavior. So I kind of
So
had
here's
to
a
sit.
question. Sexual healing, is that like a therapeutic thing that you do?
I mean, this is I was doing it alone. I was solo poly, doing my own sexual healing.
Ladies?
Date yourself, ladies. But so I needed a break for many reasons. But so I also kind of burned out on a lot of people, so it's like I didn't need to like send everyone a farewell card. But there was a few people who I told like I'm taking a break, maybe I'll come back, who knows. Woo, who
Yeah.
knows.
Well,
um
that's great though, because then you have control over whether or not you see those people again.
I felt such a sense of relief. I'm telling you, like the wave of relief because of all the anxiety this had been causing me to just be like, I'm let go and let God. I might see you sometime, I might not. Who knows? But for now, I don't even want to think about that shit. Um, so that was really nice. And I'm very glad that I got that time to myself. I was on the Peloton. I was taking my mood stabilizers. I was working on a new project. It was really nice. Um, and I had no additional stress. But the
But then
hot,
baby got horny.
yeah, I'm starting to have pregnancy dreams. I'm having nighttime emissions.
Nocturnal emissions. Yo,
It's
that would suck if women got that.
oh my god. I mean,
We'd be washing the sheets every day. Like, guys are having wet dreams and they don't wash their sheets for like months anyway.
no. Oh my god, I'm like screaming. I've had
I talk about, yeah, I'm in my grandma's house. Okay.
sure. You're like, I've come in my pants. I'm not afraid to say it.
She knows.
Yeah, how do you think we all got here? Not through cum? Come on, grandma. Yeah, it's the weather's getting warm, people are out, the time is now to relaunch into sex and dating. And so I wasn't hooking up with anybody in any serious capacity or really at all. But I
Well, and
do
how's your mental health? Like, do you think that your mental health is where it needs to be to jump back in?
I think that need to, it's kind of like I've talked to you about this, like sex and love addiction is also, I feel like very similar to disordered eating in the sense that like the food and human connection are both like essential and, nourishing parts of life. They should be joys in life. But if you
Mm-hmm.
have poor behavior attached to those, it sucks. And I think you kind of have to know that you're going to have slip ups, or know that like I'm not under any illusions that just one day I'm going to be totally good. And I think it's just like
Right.
a constant, you know, monitoring. Like, it's kind of like what happened this summer when you go a little too deep or you're doing the bad thing, you pull back. Like I do feel good, but I also am realistic that um I'm just it's just not an area that I will ever be. I'm capable of being in healthy, trusting relationships. This takes me a very long time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah,
And you have the tools in your toolkit, so to speak, to
yes.
deal with those situations as they come up.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I used to have this feeling when I was being rejected, I used to get this like stomach drop, like crazy stomach drop. Immediately I would like go into a frenzy almost. And over the years, I've really gotten a lot better about not taking it super personally, as best as I can. You know what I mean? So it's like the feelings are still there, but they're not as extreme. And not, like you said, I have the tools to like de-escalate things. However, I'm about to escalate things because so I have one. I love how like I'm gonna go out there and be healthy. That being said, I'm about to do some fucking wild shit. So what if I was like, I'm orchestrating a gangbang in my
Yeah, or a
backyard?
COVID orgy.
Yes. So I have one sexting partner that I have consistently been talking to this whole year. We actually sext so much more than we even hook up. It's
wild to me.
I know this relationship like perturbs and intrigues you, I feel like.
Well, the sexting thing is like I would get bored of it. But at the same time, I guess if I wasn't having sex, then maybe that would be the most exciting part of my day. So
it's like it's like is it called methadone, the thing that like heroin addicts take?
it weans you off of heroin.
It's my methadone. It's like I'm not going full cold turkey. This person also is like such a savage sexter. You know, everyone's got the hits, everyone's got their generics. This person is just like sending videos of him coming everywhere, just writing soliloquies that are like, I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, that's fun. The videos are fun.
They're so fun. This is a compliment. I'm like, I'm like impressed. You know, game recognized game, baby. But so for my sexual reawakening, for my quinceañera, I wanted to rent a hotel room because I have roommates. They don't live. It's very far. We're far away from each other in the house, and like, but it's
but the type of sex you like to have.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm like, I'm not having my debutante ball be ruined by the fact that like this dude put a belt around my neck and like dragged me across the floor. You know what I mean? Like that's
like there's something really strange to me about the idea of like being hooked to a meat hook and your roommate is in the next room. Like even if they can't hear anything, it's seedy.
You're worrying,
takes you out of it.
It does, and you're worrying about that. And it's not that it's fine, but I would just rather be considerate. Also, hotel room sex is
the best
mood. So I'm like, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate good times, you know. let's really go gangbusters. So, and it's a hotel on Box Street in Greenpoint, which we both know, the legendary Box Street. Shout out to you know, our lesbian couple friend who lives on Box Street.
Oh my God, baby, down on Box Street.
It's like,
I love Box Street.
We love Box Street. We love a boutique hotel. You know, we love
in Greenpoint. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, I'm like, this is treat yourself, ladies. You know, so I float the idea to this guy, like, hey, so do you want to like fucking get gnarly in a hotel room? And he was like, yeah, of course, that's my
what
dream.
If he was like, nah?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, it's just like kind of a little too much. But can you hear the guys yelling in the background, by the way?
I can, but
okay,
not anymore.
Okay, sorry, we got some stupors in my neighborhood really going off. But so I float the hotel room idea, and we start to, like, we're sexting and stuff, and then I'm like, oh, we should like hotbox the bathroom, like fuck in a shower, you know, all the things, and he goes like, oh yeah, we should do that, and like, can I pee on you in the shower? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Here's the thing. When you're talking to someone who's into like kinky stuff, I feel like there's always like there's like someone dips the toe. Like we're bringing in a third fluid here.
Mm-hmm.
We're testing the water. Peeing on someone in the shower is like the most hygienic
In the
version.
shower. I mean, I would let somebody vomit on me in the shower. You'd wash it right off.
That's good to know. Now I know what the fuck you're up to.
I'm like feeding Slamdy Ipecac.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Ipecac?
Yeah, Ipecac, I think.
Ipecac.
Oh, okay.
What a weird word.
We got a Ipecac. We just got a reveal on what YouTube freaks are doing acid and fucking throwing
Absolutely
up in each other's
not.
mouths.
Oh my God. If there's anybody who did not take that as a joke, I fucking hate vomit. I mean, nobody likes it, but like,
it's fucking two girls, one cup over in the Lubin household.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. I would do pee though.
That's the thing. Now it's like pee is like you said, it's the first level of the scary bodily fluids section of kink in sexuality. Like, and I've already done scratching, I've already done the blood, I've already peed on someone one time before, many years back.
That's what I want to do, actually. I want to pee on somebody else. I don't really have a desire for someone else to pee on me, but I would let them if they were dying to.
Yeah, if you fucking need it so badly, get it done. It's power. It's purely based in power. But like some people, I think it's safe to say most people do not. It's a no-fly zone. So
most people suck.
Most people are fucking boring. You're gonna live your whole life.
You're never gonna piss on anyone. Like, really? You're gonna be on your deathbed knowing that you never pissed on another human being.
You never took one golden shower. I mean, yeah. Don't go chasing waterfalls, but do go chasing urine falls. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, hell yeah. It's also like when someone has the nuts to just throw that in, like, just be like, oh, and obviously we'll do this, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. Love that. So I'm all.
So you're like, yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah. And then it escalates to like, can you like be on your knees opening your mouth? So now it's being deposited into the face hole.
So you're the urinal.
Yes, I am the urinal.
How do you feel about that?
Curious. Number one, curious. Like, what mentally? Here's the thing. I feel like every time I approach the frontier of like a new insane sexual thing, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna love it. Now it's gonna be my fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, almost there's something that I haven't. There's nothing that I have done that I haven't been like, yeah, I get this. Yeah, this is cool.
Right. The pee in the mouth thing, I would not think you'd be into it though.
And you're right, because it seems unsanitary.
Yes, that's the main reason.
Yeah. So obviously I'm on, the Googs. My Google search history, man. It's fucking should be on the FBI watch list.
I mean, have you seen 127 Hours? That guy got stuck between two rocks and he ran out of water and he drank his own pee to survive. So it's like, we know that this doesn't kill people.
I'm going to be gnawing my own arm off and drinking the urine. Well, so I Google, like, are there health risks to this? And basically it's like, no, unless someone has like a worm, Oh
God. And knowing this guy, I mean, he has a snake.
Big snake. I mean, he doesn't not have a worm.
Yeah. Like, we can't be sure.
Like, I wouldn't be like, there's no chance this person ever has had a worm. But like,
It'd be so funny if you sent him like, okay, this is a week of dietary restrictions that I'm going to need you to follow
I have
before the urine.
I have a parasite test that I'm going to mail you. It's from my Vagine drawer. My Vagine drawer now has like vaccines and, you know,
heartworm medication, like for dogs.
I go to the pet store to buy a collar and heartworm medication. It's the
You know,
same thing.
those like squeezable things that you squeeze into their fur.
Yes. I'm wrapping his meds in a dog treat, you know, and it's not like
he would eat it.
Of course he would. And like I'm not calling this guy dirtball. I like love as a friend this person and respect, and like this person has only ever been compassionate and kind. I don't think he's like gross in any capacity. I think he rocks. However, he gets into it. He lives fast, he lives loose, you know. He's a wild child. So there's like if they have a worm, you can get it through that. And also like this one I did not anticipate. If they're on meds that could like fuck you up, you could absorb the effects of their meds. So like, you know, are my mood stabilizers and the anti-anxiety, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Am I accidentally taking pills am I taking yellow pills that I don't know about?
But what if you drink his pee and then you wake up and you're the happiest you've ever been?
And you feel fucking great. Maybe that's the key to happiness. You know what I mean?
Happiness.
Yeah, and the word penis is in there. All right. We're cooking. Now we're chopping it up, baby. So like those are the two. They're obviously the articles like don't. It's like, you know, one of those medical articles at the end. It's like, but don't be like, come on now. Don't drink it all the time. Like, and doctor just pops his head through and is like,
those articles are so condescending, by the way. Like,
yeah,
they always assume the worst intention.
Yeah, they think I'm drinking gallons of it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just gonna be a little bit.
Just a splat, just a shot. I mean, our dear friend and past guest of the show, Kevin Allison, is an open and free pee drinker.
He's a pee drinker from way back.
He's alive. He looks great. Listen, Kevin looks fucking great for his age also. Like he looks.
So if that's any indication.
That's what I'm saying. You know, we're buying fucking moisturizer with hyaluronic acid in it, but
we're juicing.
Yes.
And we're peeing in each other's mouths. This is part of my health journey.
This is what like the middle of the country thinks like lefty liberal cunts are about. It's like, I'm not having kids. I have top tier skincare and I get deposited with urine via my mouth on a weekly basis. I'm making
on a weekly basis. And I work part-time as a doula and eat every placenta.
I'm at a luxury hotel making business calls in between someone shitting on my face. And
You're not going there.
I'm a modern woman. I'm not going there. I don't think I'll ever go there, but I don't know. I never thought I would go here. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. These types of like,
I'm calling it now.
You're like, I'm
calling it now.
3 years.
Well, okay, maybe not 3, but like 10, like within 10. Like by age 40, you will shit on someone's chest.
I can't say with confidence that I won't.
You can never say.
I can never say with confidence.
That's life for you.
That is life. That's life in the fast lane. That's getting a parasite. That's, you know, that's moving to different countries. That's shaking. Let's chopping. Let's baking. You know, sorry. That's the risk of living fast and loose. And I do think once you do things like this, you're like changed as a person a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because it's kind of like when you're afraid of something. It's like fear factor.
Yes.
Like if you go in and you're afraid of
fear factor. What's your kink?
Hear me out.
It's my kink is Joe Rogan being like, eat the cockroach.
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot that was a show. So if you're afraid of spiders, then direct exposure to spiders, you will no longer be afraid of spiders.
Exposure therapy.
Basic exposure therapy.
What my kinks are. It's exposure therapy. It's fear factor sexuality. I will not be kink shamed. I will not be judged. but I really is. There's a moment when you do something risky like that. Well, here's the thing. It's so intimate. This is what people like about it. Obviously, they like the pee. Obviously they like the grossness or the
Obviously.
chilliness. I mean, obviously, I love it.
What's not to like?
Obviously, it goes without saying.
That was such a weird thing to say. No, I get what you mean. Like if they have a pee fetish, they like the pee.
That's what that's what they're here for. They're not here for it. How's your grandma enjoying this recording?
I think she's taking a nap. So. I strategically planned this during her nap time.
So, okay. Obviously, they like the materials, but it's also like the vulnerability of doing something so whack with someone else is intensely connected. There's super trust to it. It's also like, I don't know, when I meet someone who's like this person, he's not, what's hot about him beyond him and, our chemistry is like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like that.
Yeah.
To suggest this and be like, and also open your fucking mouth, bitch, because it's time for a shower. It's like, damn, you just said that and you're not even like, it's okay if you're not. No, it's like, we're fucking doing it and you're going to love it. It's like, whew, I am hyped by that level of confidence.
It's big dick energy. It's what it is.
It's
or big P energy.
Big P energy. BP. It's BPE.
It's different. They're different things.
Yes, there's BDE and there's BPE, and they're totally different things. BPE
Don't get
is
it
like
twisted.
Way off the register. Okay, if you got BPE, you've done things that only God saw. So first we're talking about like in the mouth in the shower, which is still like there's water also intermingling,
right?
So I'm
yeah, it's getting diluted.
Exactly. Like, and it's also, it's not going to be, I mean, I assume you're not like putting it directly in my mouth and just firing
like a funnel.
I assume
like one of those jumbo straws, the boba tea straws.
Dude, where's the tapioca bubbles?
Oh my God, I'm dying. No, Andrea, I think he would use your mouth as a urinal.
Exactly.
You're not like sucking the pee out.
Exactly. This is not the Soul Eraser. So this is brought to the table. And obviously once that has been brought to the table, then the next thing is suggested. So obviously, I think we've mentioned in the past, like I obviously own dog collars and leashes. Shout out to Petco again, for all your sexual needs, Petco, worm meds, leashes, all the things. But he's a dom, so it's a lot of it is about like degrading and such. So we bring
time out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Grandma, I can't talk right now. I'll be right out.
This was the greatest.
She's gotten a little forgetful.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest moment of Hot Mess history. I'm talking about water sports and buying leashes to get
now I'm like
with.
Backtracking. I really thought she was sleeping. Now I'm like backtracking. Did she hear the boba tea thing? God. Okay, so anyway.
Okay, so Emily's grandma's back in the other room.
She literally was walking around the apartment like, is anybody home? And I was like, oh, shit.
Does anybody want some sweet tea? And you're like, yeah, my friend Andrea wants some sweet tea. Oh my
Okay, so
Well,
here's
good
my
luck.
question.
Good luck on the rest of your family vacation, dude.
Good luck for the rest of the Zoom call. I'm going to be like using veiled language. Like,
Yes.
and did he escalate it any further?
oh, oh my God,
Did he
wild.
escalate it any further?
He did escalate it further. He goes, I want to bring a dog bowl, 2 dog bowls. Okay.
Does he have 2 dogs?
I don't think so,
I
but
wonder when.
he's
I
got
wonder if
2.
he has 2 dog bowls that are specifically for that.
He's got 2 bitches, I'll tell you that. So
Oh,
he's got many bitches, I'm sure. This guy, I mean, what a hunk. But um, he goes, I want to get 2 dog bowls so that in one of them there can be pee and the other one there can be cum.
oh my God. What?
Yes.
Whose?
His. So
I'm sorry, what? So like, wow, this is going to be like a 24-hour project.
Yes, this is going to be, we're going to take breaks in between.
Like, you would need, that takes a lot of stamina to fill up
Yes.
a dog bowl even a quarter of the way.
I know. And and he was like, you can be on your knees like a good little doggy, lapping up the various. This is so fucking wild. Thank God you have headphones on. Your grandma would literally faint. Lapping up the various bodily fluids while I'm holding the dog collar and fucking you while you do it. I'm like,
Oh my God,
this
master.
this is fucking crazy, man.
That actually is crazy.
Like, full
Oh
on.
God, you know what? I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I think lapping up the cum would be worse
Yeah.
because of the consistency. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
Because
sure.
with the urine, it's like, yes, you're drinking it, but it's not, you're not really drinking it. You're just,
Sure. It's for show. You're a show pony.
yeah, like not that much of it would be getting in your mouth drinking
Yeah.
it that way, right?
Sure.
But the semen,
Yes.
it's like you would need to scoop it with your tongue.
like a little cat.
Oh God, I'm nauseated.
Yeah.
Did you get excited, or were you like, I don't know if I don't know about that?
I was like, you're wild. This is wild. This is gonna be the craziest night of my life. And
But you're down?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Oh my God.
Man.
I'm gonna pray for you.
Emily's throwing holy water over her shoulder.
Yeah.
Because I'm already there. Do you know what I mean? Also, like, okay, yes, the image. Okay, the fact that he suggested that with full confidence, again, BPE all day, every day, super hot. And also, I'm already doing it. Like, this is the thing. Like, I've already swallowed his cum many times. He's come on my face. You know what I mean? Like, we've already crossed that bridge. Have I lapped it up like a little kitten? No, but like, to me, potato.
No, it's not the same. I'm sorry. It's not the same. It's the difference between eating like oh no, you know what it is? It's the difference between like taking a quick shot of tequila and
Sure.
like lapping up tequila. Like one is clearly superior to the other just because it's quick and
It's
dirty.
one and done. It's one and done. Yeah, it's quick and dirty, and this is slow and filthy. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know, man. I'm always, it's curiosity's always gonna win with me. Always. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I said, this, it's my kink, fear factor. Like, what am I gonna think about this? How is this gonna go down? I don't know. It's also like, when you do something wild and forever you have the image in your memory, you have flashbacks of it.
Yes, but the problem with that is you need to keep upping the ante, like you said, because
Right.
for the images to stay in your mind, you need to get
Mhm.
crazier and crazier until you're basically living in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing autoerotic asphyxiation dressed up as
Ooh,
a
baby.
clown. Yeah. So,
You know what? I can relate to that because, you know, one of my biggest fears used to be going to therapy.
interesting. See?
hmm And
You,
then once I went to therapy, I realized this is why everybody loves therapy, which is
yeah.
why I'm so excited to tell you guys about our sponsor, BetterHelp.
Nothing like a therapy segue, in the middle of a discussion of drinking other people's bodily fluids. Need to be in therapy for the rest of my life, and BetterHelp has, shockingly helped me get better. Can you imagine?
Yeah, BetterHelp is truly saving lives.
Mhm.
BetterHelp is a way to connect with a licensed professional therapist from the comfort of your home. It's less
Yeah.
expensive than traditional therapy and it's way quicker. I mean, you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours, whereas with traditional therapy, I've had to wait a month plus to see somebody when I really needed to see somebody. So I
Yeah.
wish that I knew about it back then.
Did someone hang you off a meat hook and you feel a certain sort of way about it? You know what I mean? You need to be able to talk to someone now. It is so
Seriously.
like essential to our modern world. Even during COVID, obviously, it became much more significant. But just in general, like being able to speak to someone online is so great. And also, there might not be therapists in your local area that can deal with a particular issue that you have. So BetterHelp has just a litany of different therapists, different specialities. There's just so much more available to you there as resources.
Yeah. And if you're curious, you can go on the BetterHelp website and look at the reviews. There are hundreds and hundreds of glowing reviews. And I mean, we like to read a review whenever we
Yes.
talk about BetterHelp, but it's honestly hard to pick just one. So this is what I'm going to share with you guys today. It's for Dr. Saima Sandhu. Please excuse the pronunciation. Dr. Sandhu is so wonderful. I love her. I've only been talking with her for a few weeks now, and I definitely have seen progress with her. I'm excited moving forward with her. She gives insight on events in my life from angles I've never been able to see before. She's enlightening, insightful, compassionate, and understanding. So looking forward to the healing process working with her. She's the best.
Yes. Fucking Buddha over here. Hello.
Seriously. I mean,
God.
I need one of these in my life. I haven't been to a therapist since pre-COVID, and I am now considering BetterHelp because it's just the most flexible therapy that you can find.
Yes. Do that
And
processing, girl.
yes, we all need to process things, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if, you know, your problems are less serious than other people's problems. Who gives a fuck?
Sure. Not
Get
everyone's getting, pissed on, but that doesn't mean that you don't need to talk
only
to
the
someone.
lucky ones.
Yes. Only the cultural elite.
So our listeners can actually get 10% off their first month at
Hell yeah.
betterhelp.com/hot mess. Again, that's BetterHelp,
BetterHelp.
HELP.com/hot mess for 10% off your first month.
BetterHelp. So it's really lovely that we are talking about BetterHelp because obviously, we know that I'm about to be sent out into the wild. We know, are you like having flashbacks of this summer? You're like, she's getting in people's cars. She's got a fucking knife.
Yeah, I mean, that was a low point for me. I don't know about you, but for
high
me,
point. I was like, this is great.
I mean, we all listen, like people listening at home, like you all have that friend that you can't control the decisions that they make. So you got to let go and let God. But ever so often they make a decision and you're like, I thank God you're alive. And that was one of them. But again, let go and let God.
Emily has a tapestry behind her bed that just says, let go and let God. You look at it, you put your hand on it, you're like, it's gonna be okay.
Listen, it's been a wild ride these past 7 years.
It It has been. Listen, I keep you young. I keep you engaged. There's never a dull moment.
Oh, you definitely keep me on my toes.
I'm not a boring friend. I'll say that.
Nobody could ever say that. But you told me before we started rolling that you wrote a list.
Yes.
I'm dying to know what this list is.
Okay, so dear friend Lucas Connolly, when I talked to him about my bipolar, and obviously he's been sober for 700 years, so he has all these great sayings, and
he's literally been sober since he was in utero. Like,
yes.
I'm pretty sure he was a drug addict before I even knew what drugs were.
Yeah, he's fucking Kurt Cobain up in this bitch. He's lived 1,000 lives, and he's very knowledgeable, and he always sort of like breaks it down to you in a pretty simple way. And so he goes and to what we were talking about earlier about, if you have addiction issues and they transfer over to your, relationships, as they tend to do, then like you need to treat it. It's like you need to treat it like drinking in moderation. Do you know what I mean? Like you need to set these, what we call the bottom lines, so that when you are doing, like, basically you're calling yourself out and being like, if you are doing any of these behaviors, this is a bottom. Let's not pretend, because it's so easy to be like, no, but it's love. And it's like,
yeah,
all right, you are lapping up someone's cum out of a dog bowl. I don't know if we're calling this love.
I thought that was like a special moment that you're going to share. I didn't realize that, but that could be someone's bottom line, is what you're saying.
Totally. And also it's so funny. This particular person that I'm planning on doing these depraved things with is very respectful and kind to me. So I don't worry about him. Do you know what I mean? Whenever I interact, it's so weird to say these things because it makes me sound insane. And also I probably am, but like the crazy kinky things that we're doing is kind of beside the point. What's really, like, I feel very safe with this person. I always hear back from him. He never leaves me on red. He's hard to pin down in terms of like getting together, but like he always nice. Do you know what I mean? Always kind. Like I never feel like I'm being manipulated or jerked around by this person. So a lot of my bottom line stuff is actually like related to how I'm feeling internally. But here they are nonetheless. Okay. Number 1. So if you're up all night obsessing about sex and interactions. Now, this one, especially the like fantasy mode of like saying something to someone or handling something differently or building these stories of like what could be happening or what, you know what I mean? Like if I hit,
and is this so is the implication that this would be with a specific person?
I guess so. I guess if I'm doing this with a person, it's probably because this person is making me feel insecure or being inconsistent. Like when someone's inconsistent, I tend to spiral like this. So if I'm spiraling like this, then it's a warning sign. Like we all get in our head about like, didn't text me or blah, 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 you know what I mean? But like if you're up till 5 a.m. Like,
yeah, that's extreme.
Tripping balls about like, could he say that? And then this, and then what is he? And then, you know what I mean? Like that's not healthy. So number 2, 2+ hours of fantasizing about sex or relationships. So,
2+ hours a day.
Yes. If I'm
okay
past the 2-hour mark, we're doing something's up.
That's so, there should be an app for that, like screen time.
Right?
Like, I don't know how you would keep track of it.
It's hard though. I don't know. I'm actually curious. When you were dating and all these things, would you have times where it would like suck up so much of your day?
Well, looking back, it feels like it was like all day, but
yeah,
it couldn't have been all day. You know, I don't know. It's hard to say.
You're able to like do your, you know what I mean? Like I'm always like doing my job and like getting what I need done, but there's this persistent like nagging or like other narrative going on in my brain at all times, and I really I want to avoid that as much as possible. That's why I took this break. And during this break, I was so carefree. And I'm like, oh, that is such a nice state of being, you know? I'm just
Yes,
thinking
it
about
is.
myself and my friends.
Yeah. And also I get what you're saying though, because if you're in a healthy situation with somebody, then you might spend a lot of your day thinking about them, but it's not going to feel like obsession. It's not going
Yeah.
to feel like, intrusive thoughts. It's just going to feel good, honestly.
Yes, exactly. Well, like, you mentioned once, like when you and Andy started like sort of, spending more time together, thing were sort of escalating, I guess, for lack of escalating is a weird word, but
It's the word of the day.
sure. This podcast is about escalating in front of your grandmother. So you were like, you never worry about hearing from them, or you never like don't know where they're coming from. And I feel like often those worries are provoked by a very real situation of a person who maybe is not that interested, or maybe is not that available, or is
Yes.
not a good fit but for you. So what I'm saying is, like, you can be having a crush and like enjoying the crush.
I love having a crush.
It's super fun, like, but there's a difference between like playful fun fantasy and like hardcore fantasy, or like getting ahead of things fantasies. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Like,
but
how am I going to react if he does something shitty? How am I going to react
yes.
if he doesn't respond to me? How am I going to react? Blah,
Yes.
blah, blah, blah.
And you've seen me like, whoa, my God, with cheating when I'm not even dating. Like, I have these future trips with people where like they're humiliating me,
Yeah.
before it even happens. So that's, it's not a nice state of mind to be in. 2+ hours or only 2 hours on dating apps. This one,
Oh, that's reasonable.
yeah, I think this one is particular because you can be swiping this. It's also part of my realization that, like, I mean, we're women right now talking about men, and men talk about women. I'm not like policing what women can talk about or be interested in. That's
Yeah. I mean, this show would not pass the Bechdel test.
100% no. But like, but I do think that I am bored about deciphering men's emotions and behaviors. I'm bored by lowering myself to people who don't treat me well. I'm bored with it. I would rather be writing a novel. So
Yeah, sure.
I need a hard time constraint, because I can't have this eating into my life in the way that it
Yeah.
does.
And honestly, like an hour in the morning and an hour at night,
Yeah.
like you specific hours. Like if you set specific hours, I actually think there is an app that will lock you out of certain applications between certain hours. I have to do more research on that, but I have heard of this before where you can set it to like lock you out of certain apps
Yeah.
during time. It's like for productivity.
Yeah. It's like sex addicts screen time app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
also,
reasonable.
Like, I think just there's an addendum to this, or something that I just thought of too. And Mike Kaplan actually said this to me. And I think when on the apps, if it's not a fuck yes, then it's a fuck no. Meaning, like, don't match and talk to people that you're like, yeah, like if you're going like, oh, like already about this person, then you're not actually that interested. So don't like pursue just for the sake of pursuing. Like, actually
Fair.
just focus on the quality. And I really don't like dating apps all that much, but they are a part of.
Can I just do a brief pause in the list, because I'm dying to tell the listeners about our Stereo live after party every fucking Friday. The Stereo app, you guys, is one of the coolest apps out there. It truly is. There's so many creators on there, so many people that I know, podcasters, comedians. They're on the Stereo app. You can see their little emojis, and it's basically a way of listening to a live podcast, but it's absolutely free. And we've been going live on there every Friday. usually at 5 p.m. This Friday, we're going live at 7 p.m. And if you want to follow us on there, you go to stereo.com/lubination and stereo.com/Andrea Comedy 69, same as our Instagram handles. You can follow us on there and then you'll get a notification whenever we go live. It's been super fun.
Yeah. And we chop it up. We get down and dirty on the Stereo app. And also like we talk about pop culture and film and like, kind of a little bit different stuff than we do here. So it's nice to have that space to discuss those types of things. And you can get if you follow us, you get notifications for when we go live. So say we go live another time, you're plugged in, baby. You got your stereo turned up and you're fucking ready to rock. All right, back to the list, kids. Bottom line. Okay. So if I am sacrificing work and or friends for sex, so meaning like I cancel a plan or I like do a subpar job on something because I'm prioritizing sex or dating over the, you know what I mean?
Do you do that?
Okay. I have.
Is there
it's a little bit more rare.
Is there something that you canceled with me so that you could go pee in someone's mouth?
Probably. I can't think of one in like recent history.
But it's happened at some point in time.
It for sure has happened. I think this is one of the ones that I'm much less likely to do. But that's the thing. So it's like, if I am doing this, then this is a problem,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so no skipping out on friends and no skipping out on work.
Yes. Spending energy and attention on people who do not reciprocate.
Hell yeah.
Yes. So this is probably the hardest one for me because I really love an unavailable person. I love it. It's my bread and butter. But like to have a hard line about if I'm quote unquote drowning in the blue, so to speak, then like get out, because we've discussed this many times before. Like the way people behave in the beginning of relationships is usually their best behavior, because they're trying to get that,
for sure,
pussy.
I laugh at way more jokes in the beginning.
And so if someone's behaving badly at that stage, then like this is their best offering. So either A, they're not that into you, or B, they're not communicative people. And like either way, it's not a good thing. So it's like I kind of have to set these fast rules of like, if someone doesn't respond for 3 days or something crazy like that, not even that's that crazy, but there's
I
like
think that's
indicators
absurd.
Yeah. See, there you go.
3 days.
It depends on the type of, like, some people have like real jobs and lives, 3 days. You're right. 3 days is crazy.
I think it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I'm just seeing it from the perspective of like, whenever I've received a text that I really wanted to respond to, it wouldn't take me 3 days.
For sure. And like the minute you're getting hit with the, like, I didn't see this, it's like, get out, lady.
LOL.
Yeah. It's so, we know, I think we so often, when we like someone, we create these stories that like feed into the narrative that they feel the same way about us, because that's what we want. But you gotta stick to brass tacks. You gotta be like, if this person takes several days to respond to you, it's exactly what you think it is. It's like we spoke
nothing's ever blah blah blah.
Exactly. So if you're caught in the blah blah blah, you're drowning in the blue, so to speak. Like, it's just cut and run. It's just not. There are exceptions, but just for your own sanity, that's a big part of this, is trying to preserve my own sanity. Like,
what little you have left.
Exactly. Literally hanging by a thread constantly. So I think that, like, anyone who really likes and respects you will not put you in that position. So you just got to kind of call it how it is, which is probably one of the hardest things for me, because I enjoy the excitement of like getting someone who's difficult, like catching them, and then they're gone and they're back. You know what I mean? I love
Yeah.
I like the cat and mouse. It's Fear Factor, baby.
You like the chase, baby.
I do, but I'm getting tired. My knees hurt.
Yeah, your
45.
joints. I'm worried about your joints.
Me too. I'm worried about my joints and my digestive system from all the pee I'm going to be drinking. Okay. Bad boundaries with protection. So,
hot topic.
Very hot topic. It's an indicator of not feeling like you can assert yourself with someone. It's an indicator of someone who is also pushing. It's both ends. It's like, oh, you're with this person, you can't assert your needs, which is not a good situation. And this is someone who likes to push it and is trying to get what they want at the risk of you, you know?
Totally. And they're not taking your safety or your feelings, honestly. They're not taking either of those things seriously.
Right. Because it's, when I say bad boundaries, it means like there's been discussions about it. So there shouldn't be a negotiation about that stuff. It should be like, no, and that should be the answer. So if there's like any further conversation, then it ain't it.
That ain't it, sis.
And then the final one, more than once a week, fear about STIs and pregnancy. So, but this one's kind of a difficult one because, like, again, like, I'm not playing it fast and loose over there. But again, it's kind of linked to the other one of like, I get hyper fucking in my head about these things. So if someone is pushing me to be more risky, then like it's probably just not a good fit for me. Whether or not I'm actually in any logical danger is kind of beside the point. It's the point of the matter is that like I am uncomfortable. And
so this kind of goes along with the protection thing because it's somebody disregarding your feelings about things that are actually very serious.
Yeah, and me not feeling confident in saying no to a person. That's really at the core of this whole STI thing, is like this person wants what they want and they don't really care what you feel about it, or they feign that they care but really they don't. And on the flip side, you can't stand up for yourself with this particular person. You know, so cut it loose. You know, it's not a good fit.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah. So that's the list. So those are the 7 deadly sins.
Andrea, that's a very comprehensive list.
Thank you.
Applaud you. I think you should frame it and put it right next to your water poem.
Oh my God, I forgot you knew about the water poem. God.
Oh, I have seen the water poem. I'm with it. Whatever helps you, babe.
For Emily's got her Let Go and Let God tapestry. And I've got multiple poems and lists. I mean, these things are corny. However, to me, they're helpful because it forces you to stick to certain things. And again, you know, I don't think that I'm never going to have a slip up, but it forces you to identify what exactly it is that causes these anxieties and that is linked to these bad behaviors. And it makes it a little more unignorable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm with it. And I think even just the act of writing it down helps you process those things and helps you really nail down. I mean, maybe that's what you were saying, but I think, you know, having the list is a good reminder, but also just the act of writing it down is helpful too.
Especially
what? You guys should email us, hotmesscomedyhour@gmail.com, and send us your list of bottom lines.
Your list. I mean, you can have bottom lines. Like, I'm sure you have bottom lines associated with ED stuff. Like, are you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe I should write my list for like the
Yeah.
next solo pod.
Merch idea. Get your list on a coaster. Get it
Ooh,
on a crop top.
mama like.
I mean, like we said, the realities of addictive behavior. And is ED, I feel like it's addictive in that you're addicted to withholding from yourself. Does that make sense?
You're addicted to behaviors, like,
Yes.
because it looks different for everybody. So, like, one thing would be, counting calories is
Yeah.
like that's like a base level behavior. And then a more severe behavior would be, restricting or taking food groups out of the equation, things like that. That I actually think that would be an easier thing potentially to write bottom lines for.
Yeah, because it's centered around a substance. It's kind of like what I was saying about people who, like I used to try to count drinks because this was an out of control behavior. And it was easier for me to cut that off, but I can't cut this off, and you can't cut off food. So there has to be like intermediary or like concessions made or hard rules put down. Because if you don't, a lot of these too, the core of them is, it's just the way they manifest themselves are differently. The core of most of these problems is low self-worth and, abandonment issues. So it's kind of like, and you could hear it over and over and over again, and it's run so true, and it's been something that's been such a consistent lesson in my life, and it's really, really hard to walk the walk on this one. But I've heard versions of this all my life. Is like, people treat you exactly how you let them treat you, or maybe I'm misquoting it, but like we have a friend who their partners often move in with them and they don't pay rent. And this person was like, I don't understand why this keeps happening to me. And I was like, because they know you're not gonna kick them out. You know what I mean? And just in my way, like, if I come back to someone who consistently doesn't treat me, my time or my energy with respect, they know that they can continue doing that. You're setting the tone for how you're being allowed to be treated. So even if like deep down, I don't feel that I deserve to be treated well, and I do, it's like I'm so much better than I used to be. I still, it's like a fake it till you make it type thing, where it's like, if you force these things, then, I'm doing an impression of someone who believes these things. And maybe I think that one day I will start to believe these things. And
yes, I do. I'm a huge believer in that, by the way. I'm a huge believer in like doing the behavior, because what that really is cognitive behavioral therapy. If you change your behavior and you do it over and over again, and you realize that you get, the results, the desired results by doing that, then it's going to be, solidified in your brain that is the way to go.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, another quote, but like the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing and expecting different results. So, so I want to go into this with just a little bit more restriction, so that, and I'm expecting people to be bullshit. I know that's going to be the case, and I'm also giving myself grace, and if I fudge some rules here and there, but you gotta fucking call yourself on your shit a lot of the time. So
very proud of you, proud to know you, proud of your list, and I cannot wait to witness your slutdom. But you're restrained, baby. Slutdom.
My kink is restriction.
Yes. So is mine. We got to wrap up because this whole Wi-Fi situation is driving me absolutely fucking bonkers.
Yeah, man.
You guys will be back next week with your regular scheduled programming of Hot Mess.
Mm-hmm.
And until then, keep being cunts.
Yeah, baby.
By the way, where can they follow you?
Follow me at Andrea Comedy 69. It's through the roof over there. We're popping off. And always check out the Hot Mess Comedy Hour Patreon. We have dropped some bonus episodes recently where we get into a snake in the grass that fucked our shit up. So there's always some juicy things going on behind that paywall. And also our entire back catalog is available there. Literally every episode before COVID is behind the paywall. So if you want to access Hot Mess in a pre-COVID world, throw a few bucks down. Well worth your time. There is
if you want to experience the good old days.
Yeah. Let's go back, baby. Emily, where can they find you? Follow you.
You can follow me at Lubination on social media. And you can also listen to my other podcast, which is called RIP Diets. It comes out every Monday. We talk about leaving diet culture where it belongs, which is 6 feet deep in the ground, bitch.
Yes. Bury it. Close the vault. Fucking end it. Love RIP Diets. I'm an RIP Diet stan. It's a great fucking show. A great complimentary meal to us over here at the Hot Mess Comedy Hour. So yeah, keep it cunty, people. We'll talk to you next week.
It's a comedy podcast. This episode of Hot Mess is brought to you by Alt Playground, an open lifestyle community that you can access at altplayground.net. That's altplayground.net. This episode of Hot Mess was brought to you by the Stereo app. Join us every Friday at 5 p.m. for a live conversation. You can ask us questions. You can look at our little cute emojis, make your own emoji. We're just really popping off on there. Would love to see you over there. In case you're curious, this is what we talked about last week. Here's a short little clip.
Okay, would you rather be married to someone for 20 years and find out they had like another relationship and it was because they were gay or because they were just like a cheater?
Gay.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
Because
I feel like
it wasn't my fault. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, and like I would mostly just feel sad for that person, and I could be friends with it. If anything, I would love to raise a child with a gay man. Are you kidding me? I often talk about this. I think me and Kevin Allison could run a wonderful household together.
I think you could too. You should talk about it. You should propose to
Yeah.
I actually think it's like nobody has any right to say who should be married and who shouldn't be married. Like, if my partner came out as gay, I could totally see being like, in that case, like if we were actually married for 20 years and had a family, then I could see myself being like, you know what, let's just stay married. We have this beautiful partnership and let's have an agreement.
Yeah.
That we can go see whoever we want.
Yes. I mean, there's also this like, and this is I'm going to use the F-bomb, but there's this whole like fag hag relationship with like a gay man and like an uppity woman. That like really is so loving. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I
like,
know what you mean.
Like I could like, there's, you could have this like shitbag husband that like didn't really care for you versus like a gay bestie. Like, if you're in the hospital, that gay bestie is in there. He's checking the doctors. He's getting in everyone's face. He's going to get you a coffee.
Oh, no, he's like stopping at Levain Bakery and getting you a gift box.
Yes.
Join us this Friday at 5 p.m.